PlayStation 5 specs are officially out, and it's confirmed. It is not as powerful as the Xbox Series X, but does that even matter? That's what we're going to talk about today in the pause menu, and there's so many other factors when it comes to gaming other than power, and that's what we're going to talk about and see how much it just truly matters in this case. So, Xbox Series X, it's more powerful. Does that matter to you?
You know what? If it gets to the point where I can't really see the difference, no. You know? So if it's just minimal, like, let's say, for example, just to throw it out there, like, and probably will have it, but the PS5 doesn't have ray tracing if, like, the Xbox Series 1X does. Like, that's not something that I would care about, you know? It's not something I would decide to get over an Xbox over a PlayStation 5. Not saying that's true, just throwing that example out there, you know? But for me personally, I mean, I'm 100% all about the games. You know, if a game has a good story, has a good playthrough, I'm going to pick that, depending on what console it's on. I mean, it's going to kind of be up for grabs, I guess.
Yeah, and I don't think it's shocking to say that games have always been the most important thing about these machines.
Yeah.
I mean, I think for me, power does matter for me, but I'm more of a I don't know what you want to call it. I won't say I'm a hardcore gamer because I hate that term a lot, but I care about these things. But I buy all the consoles. I have an Xbox One X, I've got a PS4 Pro, and I've got a 2060 in my computer. So, like, I'm all about that. So, yeah, power matters to me, but when it comes to why I pick up all of them, it's because of the games. I want to play all the games kind of thing. So, but I think the big question is, and this is no, secret, that a majority of games that sell on these machines are third-party games, your EAs, your Ubisofts, and so if the Xbox Series X, while it does have anywhere from a 2 to almost 3 teraflop advantage in raw GPU performance, if the games do look, let's say, considerably better on third-party games on these machines, would that sway your decision?
I mean, I still don't think so. Just because, like, it has to be, like, significant to me. Like, it has to be a huge difference. It's like I'm saying, like, comparing to the Wii U to the Xbox 360 back in the day. If you had two third-party games that are technically the same, but, like, they looked completely different in some ways. A lot of times they do. That's a big difference I'm going to need, The one thing that's kind of getting to me, though, is like, okay, so the Xbox Series X is going to be the super powerful console. How much more am I going to be paying for that compared to the PS5 to play that that third-party game that I want to play? That might barely have a difference.
Yeah.
I
mean, yeah, that's kind of where I am. I mean, I'll be getting both just because that's what I do. But I think what I call the day one pull, like what's going to be the thing that gets people to plop down the money for it, to say this is this is my allegiance, this is what I'm going with, kind of thing. To me, it's the first party games, but I think price is the biggest one.
It really is.
And at this point, even though the Xbox Series X is it's gonna be more expensive to build. I don't think that's maybe that's up for debate. That whatever. But when it comes to the price, if they were both the same price, would the power then become a thing that you care about?
I think I would. Yeah. Because in this case, like, why not have more of something when I can get it? Because, I mean, we all know, the specs show that the Series X is the superior console with all the technology in it and whatnot. Like, if they were both the same price, I would get that in a heartbeat.
Right.
I would definitely choose that. Because then the only thing that's left standing is the exclusives.
Right. So, and I think that's kind of the big question mark. And I think this generation, we're doing a lot of what ifs now. If this, but when it comes down to it, the facts that we do know is that Sony has knocked it out of the. I shouldn't say knocked it apart. They've done very well when it comes to the first party games this generation.
Yes.
Microsoft,
true.
But they also have a lot more studios now. They've purchased a lot of studios, and that doesn't mean that they're going to make good games. But what that does mean is that they are trying to, strengthen their output.
Like, to give you another example. All right, here, we're just busting out scenarios now. Both the same price. Xbox One X. And this is just saying which one you would get first, okay? Because we know you want all of them. You're going to get all of them, obviously. Definitely. But let's say both the same price. Xbox Series is, with what it is. But PlayStation 5 releases with, like, Horizon Zero Dawn 2.
Against, like, Halo. I mean, I guess Halo Infinite is the only known that we have.
I mean, I guess that just really depends on your specific taste in games.
I see. That's where it gets tricky for me. Like, if you gun to my head and was like, pick one, I think at launch I would probably go Xbox. Mainly because of, this is blasphemy to some people, but Game Pass.
I completely agree with you.
Game Pass is it's amazing. There's debate on how sustainable is Game Pass, et cetera. Like, is it going to mean that their first party studios are not going to make $60 games anymore? And those are all valid questions, but at this point in time, even when I remove that aspect of it, there's so many games on Game Pass that I've played because of Game Pass. Like, Yoku's Island Express has become one of my favorite games this generation, and I never would have discovered it without Game Pass. And I think just having that service there day one, it's going to be, for people like me, it's easy to sell. But the thing about it is that I'm telling other people about Game Pass. Like, people that don't have all the consoles. I'm like, dude, have you seen Game Pass? Because it's got so many awesome games on it, you can play it. Like, I think that could be their secret weapon.
I mean,
like,
I hate to say it, but I do have to agree with you on this. Like, Game Pass is a big pool.
Yeah.
You buy the Xbox X Series and you already have 100+ games, or
right.
like right off the bat if you have Game Pass. Which now these days also gets you gold, right? If you get that certain subscription.
If you get Ultimate,
right?
yeah.
Ultimate, right?
Yeah.
So you have online capabilities and your games right there. I got into the PlayStation 4 era late. And I love my PlayStation 4. Like, honestly, that's all I've been on right now. Now, I think it's probably because I've been backlogged on the exclusives that are getting that.
And there's just more of them.
But, like, I would have to see what would release on the PlayStation 5. What exclusive title that's going to give me my pull to make me jump for that rather than getting the Xbox X Series. Because right now I'm hooked on that just because Game Pass, and if Halo is day one, like
Halo seems like it's going to be day one. But the interesting aspect with that is that that's also on Xbox One, and that's also on PC. So like, Godfall's not doing it for me. Like, Godfall looks okay for PlayStation 5, but Sony hasn't talked about games yet, kind of thing. And while Microsoft has barely talked about games, we at least know Halo's going to be their day one kind of thing. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe we got to wait for that day one, what game is it going to be kind of thing. And I'm interested, and most people probably aren't. VR is something that I'm sort of looking to. The original PlayStation VR, I had one. I sold it because I wasn't using it, and it just, as someone who has now played with hand motion tracking on the Oculus Quest and everything, I got really tired of the clunkiness of the PSVR. But I'm looking forward to what Sony does with PSVR 2, because that could be a pull for me if it was there day one, but it's not going to be. But I'm interested to see what they're going to do with VR in that space, and I don't think you care about VR.
No, I really don't. I could care less. I know it's probably a bad statement to say. I guess I don't know if we asked this question just out of my curiosity. Then, so is there anything that would convince you to get the PS5 first?
I mean, the current slate, they would have to have a significant amount of first-party content available day one.
Okay.
Horizon Zero Dawn 2 would be a big pull for me. I don't think it would be a pull over Halo, but I really like Horizon. But if they, God of War, I would probably take God of War and Horizon over a Halo and Game Pass at day one kind of thing. But no,
So, I mean,
and Gran Turismo. Like, that's the other one. Like, I am desperately seeking a new Forza. Like, I love Forza, and Gran Turismo Sport is fine, but I want a traditional, just car game, and I know I'm going to get that with Forza kind of thing. Like,
so, I mean, let's say this, because I'm trying to think of everybody. So let's say if your PS5 is $100 cheaper than your Xbox X,
see, to me, that's where the Game Pass thing comes in, though, because with Game Pass, I'm already subscribed up to 2022, so I don't have to buy any games. I just pick up the box and I'm ready to go. Whereas the PlayStation has I've got to throw down an additional $60 plus to get the games that I want, kind of thing. Which isn't a bad thing. Like, I'm fully on board for that model, but it sounds like Game Pass might be the thing here. That's just. So
I agree. Yeah. I mean, we've said this over and over, but it's a package deal.
Right.
like it really is. You're getting
very,
a bang for your buck.
It's very compelling.
And this is saying not even knowing the price of either.
Right. And I don't think they're going to be drastically different in terms of price. Like, I think we might have a scenario of a $400 versus $500 box, but at the same time, there's rumors that Sony can't get the cost down because of cooling, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see, but that price difference is always going to play a major factor. You know, you look back at the Xbox One and PS4, and it was just that was the time. That was the time to be alive and watch that all go down. And watching Sony announce that $400 price and Microsoft announcing $500, and it was rough for Microsoft then. But I don't think that's going to be even if there is a $100 price difference again. Microsoft has a lot more going for it this time. They've got the power advantage, they've got the Game Pass advantage, but when it comes down to software, unless Sony knocks it out of the park, launch-wise, which they typically don't. I mean, the launch lineup for the PS4 was very rough. It was very boring. Microsoft, I think, had the better lineup there, and so I don't know. We'll see.
So I guess I do have one more question for you, though. Now, you know the tech pretty much of these two consoles here. Tell me personally, like, would we be playing games any differently if they were the same game on both consoles, just with the more power that you can get out of the Xbox X Series? Like, I mean, with you, Can you really see that difference? Can you think there will be that big difference?
I think there will be. I think it's going to be a similar difference in... So, owning a PS4 Pro and an Xbox One X, like, if you came to me and said, do you recommend both of them? I recommend the One X, but I do not recommend the PS4 Pro. And that reasoning is because I don't think there's enough of a difference between the PS4 and the PS4 Pro to warrant that extra money. Okay. Now, I think there is in the Xbox One X because the jump is significant from the Xbox One to the Xbox One X. And even from the PS4 Pro to the Xbox One X, I see a difference. I have played the same games on the PS4 Pro and the One X, and the One X is not night and day different, but there's times that it is significantly sharper, the image quality is significantly better. Doom is the one for me. I've played Doom on both consoles, and there's a huge difference in terms of just image clarity. And I think there's going to be a similar gap in terms of image quality and clarity between the PS5 and the Series X. Like, I think there will be a difference there. The other one is ray tracing. So it's too early to tell on we don't know the specifics of how AMD's ray tracing works, if it's a CU thing, if it's a horsepower thing, etc. But the big difference is that Microsoft has way more CUs, as some people call them, CUs, that the ray tracing could be significantly better in terms of its capabilities on the Xbox Series X. That could be the big difference, and I don't know. Like, those day one comparisons of those. Like, I think it's fair to say Assassin's Creed is coming out with these consoles day one. If that game has ray tracing, that's the comparison I want to see. I want to see how that game looks on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, because all the rumors are pointing to the ray tracing support being significantly better on the Series X. We'll see, though, kind of thing. But no, to answer your question the short way, yeah, I think there's going to be a difference. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be as close as the 360 and PS3 were, but I think it's going to be about the Pro versus the One X kind of thing. So, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, no, the tech in there's a difference. Some people are trying to downplay it, saying it's only a 20% difference in teraflops and raw GPU power, which, sure, but when you look at everything, when you combine it with the CPU difference as well as the memory bandwidth is the big one. The memory bandwidth is much larger on the Xbox Series X, which will make for a better image in the long run. So, yeah, but we'll see, yeah, kind of thing. So, but yeah, we've talked a while about this, but yeah, so I think it's fair to say that while the power difference, it could make a difference, but when it comes down to it, I think we've said that, it's games, and yeah. I don't think that's a revelation in saying that games are the big thing, but I don't think the power difference is going to be enough to sway people left or right kind of thing. So
I agree.
Yeah. Let us know what you think in the comments. Is the more powerful console going to sway you one way or another? Let us know. Hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps us out, and we'll see you next time.